It's shortly after 9 p.m. on a warm Tuesday night. The polling locations closed a little over an hour ago in Alabama. Volunteers, supporters, and campaign staffers gathered in different facilities, awaiting the results of what was a contentious and unprecedented race. You could feel and hear the nervousness and tension in the room. Folks are wondering if they had accomplished the impossible. And shortly they will find out that they indeed did. In these pictures, you see the joy and the hope of a new future in the deep red state, a state that historically and continues to look over the needs of their African American population. You see tears streaming down the faces of these women, and in this moment, they are exuding joy, maybe even exhaustion or relief. But why is she crying? Why must the tears of Black women be shed in order for the country to save itself from its own demise? Doug Jones's shock victory in 2017 in Alabama relied heavily on a key component of the Democratic coalition, African American female voters. Exit polls in this race showed that 98% of African American women voters supported Doug Jones in his bid for Senate. The scene will be played out that year in 5 other races across the nation. 2 Black lieutenant governors were elected for the first time in New Jersey and Virginia, respectively. A Black female mayor was elected in Charlotte. A Black female mayor was elected in Atlanta. And then a win for Doug Jones, who prosecuted Klansmen, happened all in the span of 5 weeks on the backs of African American women. African American voters have long been the linchpin of the Democratic base. Historically, political movements that impacted America seldom did not have Black women at the helm. In the 1880s, you had women like Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Mary Church Terrell, Dr. Anna Julia Cooper, and Ida B. Wells, to name a few, who created movements exclusively for Black suffragists, like the National Association of Colored Women and the National Freedom Relief Association, because they were excluded from the white suffragist movements. In the 1920s, Amy Ashwood Garvey, a co founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, advocated for the rights and freedoms of Black people while standing on crowded street corners in Harlem. During the 1930s, Chicago-based activist Mitty Lena Gordon created the Peace Movement of Ethiopia, the largest Black nationalist organization established by a woman in the country at that time. Later on, you would have women like Judy Richardson with SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, Diane Nash, Assata Shakur, Angela Davis, Jeanette Carter, Kathleen Cleaver, and Shirley Chisholm. In most cases, these women defied what respectability politics looked like for that time. In these movements, these women were individuals who advocated for Black liberation, economic self sufficiency, racial pride, unity, and political self determination. And they have and continue to emerge as key political leaders on the local, national, and even international levels. When most Black women in the US did not have the access to the vote, these women boldly confronted the hypocrisy of white America, often drawing upon their knowledge of history. And they did so in public spaces, in mass community meetings, at local parks and on sidewalks. These women harnessed the power of their voices, passion, and the raw authenticity of their political message to rally Black people across the nation and the globe. Rarely did these Black women have the support of their white allies, yet the world then and now will turn itself on its head for the approval of the white liberal woman near and far. If the past 2 major presidential elections have shown us nothing, let me be clear that white women have not answered the call and voted outside of themselves for the betterment of humanity. This is why the Black woman's liberation is not the white woman's liberation. We can no longer fight for the middle class white woman's issues when they do not care about ours. In 2016, 53% of white women voted against humanity. And just recently in 2020, 55% of white women voted against humanity. In contrast, in 2016, 94% of Black women voted for someone who didn't look like them, even after that person blatantly advocated against their community for years. In 2020, 90% of Black women voted in the interest of the country while sacrificing some electoral non negotiables to get to the finish line. My charge to you, my sisters, be clear of your power. Gone are the days where we picket and protest in political movements that have historically and continuously leave us out. I say to you, what must we do? We must stop asking for a seat at the table. Build your own. Set the agenda and do not waver. Fight for the interests of those who will come after you. Plant the seeds and do the work. Call out injustices everywhere without fear of being reprimanded or shunned. Today, Black women, we are building on the legacy of those who came before us. As protests and movements sweep the nation and the globe, we must continue to take up the mantle of leadership to help America forward, even if America keeps breaking our hearts. We must use public spaces as political platforms, demand justice and equality, and continue speaking truth to power at the moment when we all need it the most. Nannie Helen Burroughs, a co-founder of the National Association of Colored Women and the founder of the National Training School for Women and Girls in Washington, D.C., once said, and I'll close with this, when the ballot is put into the hands of the American woman, the world is going to get a correct estimate of the Negro woman. It will find her a tower of strength of which poets have never sung, orators have never spoken, and scholars have never written. My sisters, our time is now. Thank you.